everyone, and welcome back to A Theater Near You. I am your host, Chris Randazzo, and joining me tonight is Unsafe Welding Outfit, Paul Giroux.
Sure, why not?
And Shockingly Nimble Tank, Sean Doyle.
They didn't even fly the tank like an A-team. No. They just kind of used it to knock another tank by flinging it through a thing. It was nonsense.
They launched a tank.
And
that tank dodged rockets.
Did it come out before A-Team? If it came out before A-Team, I'll give it to him. Maybe it was ground.
I think it was well before A-Team. But
right,
anyway,
so fine. Ground you.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I would have rather you introduce me as Reverend Billy Bob Baker, but what are you going to do?
This month's letter was X, and we went with Paul's pick, XXX State of the Union. How much Ice Cube is too much Ice Cube? Let's find out. But first, Ryan Reynolds.
So, Ryan Reynolds, this motherfucker, made me feel so stupid the other day. I'm driving my car and listening to whatever morning show, Preston and Steve, and he's on there doing an interview, and he's talking about, they just did this like John Candy documentary, and apparently he's like the director or producer or whatever, which looks good, and they were talking about it, and I like John Candy, I want to see that, and that's fine. And then somebody said something, I don't remember what the lead-in was, it didn't sound super planned, but who knows, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then his comment was, oh yeah, Wolverine and Deadpool was basically built on the frame, I can't remember, on the footprint, on the framework, something like that, of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That whole movie's an homage to that movie. And I was like,
I never thought of that.
What? Because I did see Deadpool and Wolverine. I saw it twice. It was good. I like the Deadpool series. They're fine. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I fucking love. Would quote that movie constantly. It's a masterpiece. And the fact that I missed it, I caught the one reference. The one at one point he says something like, my friends like me, I like me, right? Like I caught that one line. I thought it was one throwaway line in reference to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, I didn't make the connection either.
But apparently, on top of that line, there was a couple other lines. The scene where Wolverine just goes at him, he basically directed Hugh Jackman to give it to Steve Martin at the end of the scene where Steve Martin goes at him, that like, I can't remember how he worded it, but like a subtle realization that he's gone too far and then quickly get off of it or something like that. But like there was a couple other things too. Oh, when they're in the forever land, the land at the end of time, I don't know, whatever, that void place, and there's like a broken fox symbol. There's one burnt out car sitting there. It's the car from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and it's purposely damaged in the exact same way the car in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is damaged. At one point, Deadpool puts his foot up on not Neil Page, John Candy's trunk. Like,
holy crap.
And then there was I can't remember everything he said, but apparently there was a bunch of different references, and the whole kind of like feel of the movie was like, yeah, I was the whole thing was a Planes, Trains, and Automobile reference. And I was like, son of a bitch, how did I miss this?
Yeah.
And it just felt stupid.
Yeah, I didn't. That didn't even occur to me, but now I really want to watch it again with that in mind.
I know. It makes me want to watch it again with that in mind.
So like, in other words, like, the concept of an unlikely pairing trying to make it home for Thanksgiving is paralleled by this unlikely pair trying to make it back from the multiverse?
Yeah, I guess. This is what he said on the interview, and he gave enough things that I don't think he was joking. Like, he threw out a couple things. I was like, son of a bitch, he's right. And I did catch the one. Like, the one was, it was a break you over the head, the, I like me, right?
Yeah, I knew that was from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but, like, I thought it was just Deadpool being cheeky and quoting pop culture like he always does.
Right, but apparently, I can't remember everything he said, but there was, like, I just listed a couple. I think he listed one or two more. I was like, that's a lot. And now I'm kind of seeing the parallel between the storylines. Like, I was like, damn, how did I miss this? How did I miss this?
That's crazy. But cool.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. I just did a Google search for Deadpool and Wolverine, and as soon as I hit P, it just auto-filled to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and then there's just a whole bunch of articles about the various Easter eggs. Huh. Fascinating.
So,
Yep.
So Deadpool's the John Candy?
Clearly.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out again.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be a problem because, Chris, just like what you have been doing with your kids now, Nate wants to watch the whole MCU. Nate's on this kick of like, you showed me these things too early before I understood them or could remember them. And so I'm like, all right. So we're not quite doing what you're doing where, you know, you pick them for the movie night and you cycle between family members. So sometimes it's a couple weeks before you get to the next one. Like, you know, Nate's like, all right, cool. Well, we did that one. What's next? You know, so, I mean, we're all the way up to the, you know, Avengers for the, you know, the 2012 Avengers Part 1. Yeah, so, you know, I'll be at Deadpool and Wolverine before you know it.
Out of curiosity, I know you're not doing my over the top list, but out of curiosity, with your son there, Paul, are you doing anything other than the movies? Are you putting in any of the extra stuff?
I hadn't planned on it, but we are, like, sort of independently of this watch, we are watching the Marvel Netflix shows. Once we watched Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus, he was like, there's stuff that came before this. I'm supposed to understand something. And I'm like, yeah, there is. And, you know, and so, yeah, so we watched the first season of Daredevil. He loved it. And then he's like, cool, let's watch the next season. And I'm like, no, there's like 4 shows in between. And he's like, what are you talking about? And so, like,
how great is it to be a kid now? Like, when I was a kid, there was like the Bill Bixby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bill Bixby
Hulk.
Yep.
There was like 2 movies. There was like, it was hard to find stuff because it wasn't the digital age, but there wasn't a lot to find. You know, I could probably put together, when I was his age, maybe 20 or 30 superhero movies, and that would have been it. And that I would have to go
20
back.
or 30.
Sure, there were some terrible ones, but like there was the 1970s Doctor Strange movie. There was a 1970s Spider-Man movie.
There was those Captain America movies.
Captain America movie. There was 4 Chris Reeves movies. You know, there's a black and white Batman serial that I used to watch like a movie.
I wasn't including DC. Sorry.
There was that Fantastic Four that they buried. Remember that thing?
Yeah,
so like, best case scenario, you were coming up with 20, 30 things. Like, it was a short list. But he's got, like, just every rock he turns over, he's just gonna be, oh, this goes deeper.
Yeah.
Nope, I can keep right on digging. There is no rock bottom.
He's really into the Netflix ones. Yeah, I mean, we watched Daredevil, he loved it. You know, then we started Jessica Jones, and he's like, like after like 2 or 3 episodes, he's like, how is this the next show? And I'm like, just cool your jets and watch. But then once David Tennant showed up, he was like, all right, this is like, I'm in with this. Yeah, he liked Jessica Jones well enough. He loved Luke Cage. He liked Iron Fist too. I mean, I know we all agree that that's the weaker show, but like, he did like all the fighting. And I
liked Iron Fist. I agree it's the weakest of the 4, but I liked it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed watching it.
I liked it.
I had some big problems
enough.
with season 1, and then season 2 was like genuinely good, and I was like, you bastards, you turned this around so much that I was really invested in what happened next, and then it all went away.
I think they didn't know how to envision this as one big thing. I mean, I think they planned these shows to lead up to the Defenders arc, but then they couldn't treat them like they were all one show. They had to treat them like different shows. So then once one of them was performing poorly and they canceled it, then it was like all the dominoes fell. Like, it was, I think
it was Disney Plus that happened.
Oh, that's what it was? I thought it was just that, like, the second season of Iron Fist didn't perform like they wanted it to, and they canceled it like you cancel a show that is ready to be canceled.
No, they were all like, everything was fine, but then Disney was just like, you know what? We're going to launch our own streaming service, and you can't do this anymore.
Oh, well, that annoys me a great deal.
Oh my God. That's the same thing that happened with Spectacular Spider-Man.
Mm.
It's just such a good Spider-Man cartoon. It's freaking phenomenal. but it was all part of this deal of like, it was all part of this deal with Spider-Man that they couldn't continue it, which is why they made like a really similar Spider-Man show shortly thereafter. But there was like, it's freaking ridiculous. Made me very sad. But yeah, that was just the Disney Plus happening.
Yeah. Yeah, he really likes it when somebody shows up in another show. Like when there's a character from one show that then shows up in another show. Like he gets like super excited about that. So
have you told him about Defenders, or are you just gonna hit him with it?
No,
like,
we got
the next series.
We've gotten through Defenders. We got through Defenders, and then we just finished Punisher season 1, which I love, but it was a little harder for him because I think it didn't quite have the draw that he liked in some of the other things, you know. And there's a lot about, you know, like inner workings of the military and, you know, and like branches of government and, you know, and CIA and FBI and stuff like that. So we didn't go through that as quick as we went through the other stuff, but now we're finished that, so we'll be ready to start. I think it's season 2 of Jessica Jones next.
Right. I mean, my kids are still too young for any of the Netflix shows. But we just got to Infinity War. We just did Infinity War.
Oh. I'm assuming they loved it.
They had a good time.
Did they?
It obviously didn't hit them in the feels quite the same way that it did us.
Did they cry endlessly at the end of it?
They did not. It really didn't affect them all that much. Partly because like they know everyone's going to be fine. Like on Disney Plus, there's a Spider-Man movie right after it. So like clearly he's not dead.
Oh,
right.
But wait, did you just watched? Oh, Infinity War.
Infinity War,
not
yeah.
Endgame. Right.
So we just watched Infinity War, and like, you know, this has been going on for like, I think we've been at this for what, a year and a half now, or 2 years maybe. Yeah, like a year and a half. Whereas this was like years for us. So like it didn't have as much time to sink in with them, but they're still very much enjoying it. Like they were riveted by the movie, more or less. But yeah, so they're okay. So what we gotta so we gotta see what happens next. I'm like, all right, but there's 2 movies in between, and they're like, what? They're like, all right, there's Ant-Man and the Wasp, which you're gonna watch this whole movie, and you're like, what the hell does this have to do with anything? But trust me, it's very important.
Yeah.
And then you've got Captain Marvel, which is also pretty important.
Yeah.
And then we get to Endgame. And then I got to figure out where we're going from there, because I could just end it with Endgame. And it would, you know...
Kids would probably like the Spider-Man movies. I feel like they're pretty geared towards a younger... Not to the exclusion of older people, but I feel like the Spider-Man movie should be right up their alley, no?
Oh, yeah, no, they've loved everything so far. The only stuff that was kind of... Like, they didn't really... So I put Black Widow way earlier because that's just where that movie takes place.
Right.
And that was like, okay, that's not a really fun movie. You know, it's got good stuff in it, for sure. But, like, that didn't go over well with them. Black Panther didn't go over well with them either. But I've never liked that movie nearly as much as everybody else does either. So that wasn't a big surprise to me. But everything else, like Spider-Man Homecoming was great. It's just like... So after Endgame, it's Spider-Man Far From Home... And then it's the TV series. And like that's when we start getting the movies that are, you've got to watch the TV shows too, and that doesn't really fit in with our movie nights.
Yeah.
You know, like what are we gonna do? Like watch Loki season 1 over the course of like 6 months? Like it's just not really gonna work. And if you can't skip the TV series, because like by the time you get to Thunderbolts, nothing's gonna make any sense.
Right.
So I'm not really sure. We might just kind of stop there. But like, also, I really want to. Like, Shang-Chi was so good. Like that movie's great. Spider-Man: No Way Home is great. The Marvels was really fun. I think they'd like that, but they would need to check out Ms. Marvel for that to make sense, and WandaVision for that to make sense. Like, it's where I'm running into the problem right here. That is the huge problem of Disney Plus is like. These shows are good, but they also kind of muddied the waters a lot.
I had not thought of this, but I'm sure if you look this up online, somebody's having this problem, and they've they've like come up with something like the Machete Cut or something, you know, where it's
I've been looking for stuff like that. Like I'm looking, like, is there a PG-13 movie length cut of each season of the Netflix shows? Like, that would be amazing. But as far as I know, they don't exist. I haven't seen it, but I would love to be able to have those shows boiled down into a movie length. That would be wonderful.
Well, I mean, how much do your kids care about this, right? Like, could you just go, between this and this is this show, and here are the important things that happen in it that you need to know, you know? Or
somebody gives a 10-minute recap online.
Or,
yeah, that's a good point. I could just give them recaps of those shows.
Because let me tell you, my kid is fine with stuff like that. He's like, I might as well prepare him for the movie before we watch it anyway, and he'll still have the same experience. Like, he does not care if things get ruined. So
yeah, I guess that's a good point. I don't think they would care all that much about like they're not going to get a lot out of the experience of WandaVision.
That does not seem like one that's going to play well for kids. Not that it's inappropriate, just that like
they'd probably like the end of it better, you know, like where they're after the different TV show references.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like the first half of that season, though.
The thing you were saying about you know, in Infinity War when they all disappear, and that your kids were not super fazed by that because they've seen all the movies that happen next. I'll never forget this. I don't think I'm ever going to forget this. When we saw Infinity War in the movie theater, there was a little kid in line getting popcorn with his dad while we were waiting in the popcorn line. And this kid had Spider-Man shirt, Spider-Man pants,
oh Jesus,
Spider-Man like this kid was decked out in full Spider-Man gear. And I can't remember what else was playing at the time, but I kind of messed with the kid. You know, I was like, oh, you're here to steer Star Wars, huh? You know, or like, I forget what I said, but like I made some joke about like, oh, I guess you're here for this completely different movie, you know? And then we went in, we watched the movie, we came out, and I could not look this kid in the eye. I walk past them, I'm like, have a good night, and I'm just looking away.
Like his hero just got turned to dust.
Sorry, he just dissolved before your eyes.
Yeah.
But
He seemed to not be taking it well.
I wasn't taking that well, and I'm a grown up. I know what's gonna. I know these characters aren't dead. I know they're coming back, but that was still hard to watch.
That one. That in particular was the most was kind of the most gut wrenching because, like, you know, he's like, he and Tony are right there, and he's like holding on to him, and he's like, "Sorry, Mr. Stark, don't let me go, Mr. Stark." Like, it was kind of engineered to like kill your heartstrings.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole scene is so brilliantly done because it starts off with like, oh crap, all the B tier characters are going to disappear, and then they show you like Okoye is on screen. You're just like, oh, not her, that's going to suck. But then fucking Black Panther goes instead, and you're like, oh no, everyone's on the table.
Yeah.
Like anyone could go, and then it just keeps getting more devastating from that, and then culminating in Spider-Man and, you know, saying I don't want to go. Like that was just like, oh, brutal.
Yeah,
what a great movie.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, I'll tell you what wasn't a great movie. War of the Worlds.
Oh, we're into this already. I got some other stuff I wanna talk about.
All right, sure,
but...
let's sure.
I mean, look.
Go ahead.
Well, look. I mean, like we said, we were going to talk about War of the Worlds. I figured we were going to go War of the Worlds into XXX because this is like our Ice Cube extravaganza evening.
Well,
you know,
because XXX is the prequel to War of the Worlds.
Yes, without a doubt, that's definitely the same guy.
He goes on from there to join the NSA, and that's where that character comes from. And if you'll notice, I think the prequel to XXX is Boys in the Hood, because it talks about his real briefly, but when they're I don't remember, the fancy looking guy's doing like a dossier on him. He's like, he grew up, he's getting in a lot of trouble, he starts out getting arrested for shoplifting and this and that, but he quickly moves into like resisting arrest and fighting with officers and this and that and the other thing before he finds his calling in the Navy. So I think it's a trilogy.
Are you positing that there is an Ice Cube cinematic universe?
I'm positing that this is it. It's these three movies.
Yeah.
And then he, after XXX, he gets a little older. He can't be running around doing everything anymore. So he decides to sit in one room for hours and hours, no matter what happens.
I think at some point when we've been doing this podcast for a number of years, we will have formulated a number of like actor cinematic universes. Like we can put the Ice Cube cinematic universe right up there next to the Pauly Shore cinematic universe.
Was Ice Cube in any of the Fast and Furious movies?
No.
Seems like a real missed opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. There was a lot of car stuff in that movie. I also think I think that maybe there's a cinematic universe with the guy from he came and turned off the power in Die Hard, and he was one of the teachers in Encino Man, and he's also in I think he's in Ghostbusters 2. I think he's like you know what I'm talking about, that guy? He's in The Burbs.
He's in The Burbs.
Yeah, he's the guy that sort of goats Tom Hanks into all the stuff with the neighbors.
Oh, the neighbor.
Was
the fat neighbor?
Yeah, the big guy. Yeah,
he's bigger. Right.
Yeah.
He turns off. Oh yeah, he turns off the power he doesn't want to in Die Hard, and the FBI guy's like, "Do it."
There's like at least 3 or 4 movies where he's like a bit character, but with a key memorable part. And like, I feel like you could connect all these movies and be like, well, after this guy left, Los Angeles power company, he went to Encino and he was teaching school. I think whatever that guy's name is, I think you can get a that guy cinematic universe.
That's our next marathon day.
Yeah. I mean, someday when we do our marathon, when we play our marathon cards, we'll be able to throw in with some of these cinematic universes.
Love it.
Well, so here's what I have to say. So speaking of like cinematic universes, or I guess podcast universes, can I call this? I guess I can't call it the Chris Randazzo podcast universe because it would just be the Geekade podcast network.
Yeah, right? that works. Yeah.
So sure. Speaking of the Geekade podcast network, I'm going to continue something that you talked about in one of your other podcasts. So, Chris, I will verify, yes, that Electrolyte by REM was...
All right, good.
Yeah, that was Sherry and I's wedding song. That was what we danced to at our wedding. I love you too. And just a story about that, because it is like... This is kind of one of my favorite things about this, and it always hits me when I hear this. Not just because it was our wedding song, because it was like a truly memorable moment. So, we had a band at our wedding. When we were planning the wedding, my father-in-law, who paid for a lot of it, was like to throw his weight around about what he liked and didn't like, and it was always like, oh, for my money, a band is better than a DJ. Got to get a band. So we were kind of like, all right, like a band would be cool. And the band that we picked, I think they were a little like REM-esque. Like, I think that was one of the things we liked about them. I mean, like, I think we had decided Electrolyte was going to be the wedding song anyway, just because we both love that song. But like, I don't know, that might have been something that drew us to this band a little bit. Like, they were definitely like... They were a band. They played gigs, like that was their, like, they were a group that, that went out and like tried to tour and play clubs and stuff like that. But like wedding gigs were like their bread and butter, like that's how they were paying the bills. And so we liked these guys. We told them, what the songs we wanted were. And, they were like, oh, we'll throw some like REM stuff into like the processional and the recessional and stuff. So I think we had like Sidewinder Sleeps in there, and Night Swimming, and some stuff like that, right? But then when we had the wedding dance, and they played Electrolyte, there's that part in the song where he says, I'm Jimmy Dean, I'm Steve McQueen, I'm Martin Sheen. And right at that point of the song, Sherry and I did this thing that we kind of planned where, we went to go do the like Dirty Dancing move, right? She ran at me like she was going to jump and I was going to grab her and everybody's like, oh, and then like, we stop and we do the like, the like thumbs up little dancey thing, right? Just like they do in Dirty Dancing. So, we go to do that move, we pull the fake out and we do the little dance, right? And this band leader, this lead singer guy, he didn't miss a beat. He goes, I'm Jimmy Dean, I'm Patrick Swayze. And
Nice.
every time I hear the song now, like I think about that, and sometimes I get to that part in the song and I even throw in a Patrick Swayze because this guy was on his game. He was ready for everything, and he killed it there. So that is my story about REM. Directly ties into the latest episode of Turning Tracks. And then the other thing I just wanted to talk about is I don't know if either of you guys have like any recommendations for me for like, I don't know, series of movies that I can like binge. Like we do this.
What? Who are you talking to? This whole podcast is like a recommendation.
Well, like this is a thing with me, right? Like every now and then I'll go like it's the way that when we talked about Fast and Furious, we're like, how have none of us seen these movies? And then like, 1 week I had never seen any Fast and Furious movies, and then by the next week I had seen all the Fast and Furious movies, right? Like this is a thing I like to do where it's like, oh, what about this thing? And we go like one by one, like we did it with Fast and Furious. I've done it with what do you call it? Final Destination. That was a good time. We zoom through those.
I was gonna do a rewatch of all the Alien movies because there's that Alien TV series coming out.
Oh, it's out. All 8 episodes are out.
Oh, is it?
You know what? I didn't like it.
I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah.
I was also thinking about doing a Predators rewatch, but I did that not too long ago. But then I just we talked about it on the podcast maybe 2 episodes ago. I watched that Predator cartoon movie, which I enjoyed. I thought it was good. But now I think there's like 2 Predator movies coming out like this year.
Oh wow!
There's like a Predator movie and then like an Alien versus Predator movie.
So like Alien versus Predator 3.
Yeah, and maybe an Alien movie. They're really hitting both those series hard.
Mm. Well, what I've found now is I go look for these things, and now like I find that I've seen most of them. Like I'm like, all right, what should like I'm in the mood to just like watch some dumb stuff like night after night. Like what should we try? And like I looked up franchises, and I'm like, man, we've seen that.
I just did Tremors and Critters. Both start strong, and God, they end just as strong in a very different way. Critters is pretty short. I think it was only 5 movies, maybe. Tremors, I think, was 6 and a TV series, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, the TV series.
James Bond would keep you busy for a while.
James Bond would keep you busy.
Well, the one we landed on was The Purge. So now I'm 4 deep in The Purge, and like I guess 4 out of 5. And let me tell you, that's a real mixed bag. The first one, and when I say the first one, I guess what I'm actually saying is the original one, because the 4th movie is actually called The First Purge. So like that's kind of a misnomer. But the original one, like I don't know, I thought that was kind of a letdown, right? Like it was like I'd seen the trailers for these things where it's like, for one night anything is legal and you can kill people and light buses on fire and it's crazy, and like that first movie, it all just takes place in like a house. Like it takes place in like rich people's house, and like the purge people are trying to get in. So like I don't know, I guess when you think about it, it's a little like some beginnings of franchises are like that, right? Where it's like, all right, we're gonna start small and go a little bit low budget, and then somebody goes like, oh, this could be something. What if you did this, or what if you did that? But like the first one I thought was like, and then the second and third one, I think, were the closest thing to like being something that I could see myself watching. Both of them starred Frank Grillo, and like in the first one, he's a dude that's out to like kill a guy that wronged him for the purge, and like he ends up like saving a bunch of like people that get stranded out there, and it's like an unlikely group of people trying to survive on the streets. So like that was like okay. And then in the third one, he plays the same character, and he becomes a bodyguard to a woman, a politician who's running on the platform of trying to get rid of Purge Night, you know. So like these were like, you know, these were like sort of both like I thought they were both decent. And then I just watched one that was like a prequel, and it was like, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, maybe part of the reason I didn't like it is because I watched it in like 3 chunks because like the Plex wasn't working, and I was like, I'm not gonna wait for this to load, and I just stopped it and then like watched a little more the next day. But like, I don't know. Even still, it was weird. I mean, I guess the one thing it had going for it was like people that were sort of like lower income, like inner city groups, and like the like politicians for the purge were using that night to like try to exterminate people like that they, you know, that they wanted to get rid of. So like it had this sort of like like underhanded political angle. So like that was interesting, but not interesting enough that I liked the movie. That was not so good. Not so good. So I don't know. I got one more of those, but I'm like, this is a letdown. Like, what am I gonna watch? Like what thing haven't I seen that like I can watch, you know, 6 or 8 movies of?
Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I have seen Leprechaun.
I mean, I know I haven't, but I really don't want to. But Leprechaun.
Should I save that for L?
Freddy, Jason, Mike Myers.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
did you hit
Please
all 3
don't.
of those? Because honestly, there's gems in all of those. Like, honest to goodness, like there are good movies in those franchises.
I've watched
I
all
would
the
love
Halloweens.
to watch. I would love to watch all the Star Trek movies.
Star Trek.
Like I haven't seen most of the like original series Star Trek movies since I was a kid.
I kind of went down a rabbit hole with those when the newer Star Treks came out, you know, because what do you call it? Into Darkness is kind of like a reverse love letter to
Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, Wrath of Khan. So then I really wanted to see Wrath of Khan. And then, of course, because I saw Wrath of Khan, then I was like, well, what the hell happened to Spock? So then I had to see Search for Spock.
What the fuck is a reverse love letter? You mean a death threat?
It's, I mean,
Kinda?
because it's an alternate universe of a similar story. It's like, it's Wrath of Khan with different, like, you know, different points about it reversed, including like who dies at the end.
I thought you were going to say with good actors, and I was just going to be mad.
Yeah, and then the 4th Star Trek movie where they save the whales. Do you remember we watched that in like 8th grade science class?
Jesus, did we?
Yeah, like we walked in and there was like the TV there, and we're like, oh, it's TV, like we're gonna watch a movie. Like the teacher's lazy, and she's like, this is kind of a science movie, and like turned it on, and it was Star Trek 4, where they
God, she
saved
was
the
really
whales.
phoning it in. There ain't no science in there.
No, not at all.
There's no science in
Science fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're looking for a bad time, there's Leprechaun. There's you know, there's probably more Pirates of the Caribbean movies than you think there are, and they're
I
pretty
think I've
solid.
seen all them, and I think I saw them as they came out.
Yeah, I enjoyed the ones that came after the original trilogy enough. They were a good time. I don't know if any of the sequels were any good, but the original Saw is great, and there's like 30 of those movies, isn't there?
You know, I watched, I'm going to say when there was less of them, maybe when there was like 6 or 7 of them, I watched at least 6 of them because they kind of ran in a marathon on Sci-Fi Channel. And at a certain point, you start needing cliff notes because at a certain point, like, you know, like I think the whole trick with Saw 4 is it's happening in tandem with Saw 3, and like you don't find out until a certain point, and then everybody's like, remember this other movie? Remember everything that happened? Ooh, here's the twist, you know? So like at a certain point you gotta have like cliff notes to be like, oh, this random survivor from this movie 3 movies ago is the bad guy now? Like, hang on, where did I write that down, you know?
Well, you could do Scream, and if you're doing Scream, you got to watch the whole Kevin Smith universe, because in the third Scream, Jay and Silent Bob are just there, like they interact with Courtney Cox for a minute.
I'm writing down Leprechaun and Scream because I have not seen all of those. I don't think.
Underworld.
Is that worth watching?
I have no idea. I know there's
I
one,
remember
2,
the
3,
first one
4,
being
5.
fine, and
There's
then...
6 of them.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I remember the first one being fine. It was a good movie, and then the second one came out, and I watched it, and I was like, "And I'm done with this." With Saw, I saw the first one, and I was like, "All right, it's fine. It was whatever. It was fine." And then like I didn't see 2 or 3, and then it might have been 4 or 5. I think I was going on a date with some girl, and she wanted to go, whatever. I was like, whatever. And I went and saw just like a random one, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought these sequels were going to be. I'm good. And I just never went back to that franchise. It was just like, nah.
As far as Underworld goes, I guess that's the kind of thing I'm looking for, where like a kind of thing where you look it up and then you go, oh God, there's how many of those? Like, like that's essentially the criteria is when I go, wait a minute, there's 6 of these? Like, we got to watch this.
All right. Highlander comes to mind.
So I thought that's what it was going to be for me. Like, I thought Highlander was going to be next. And, you know, I've seen 1 plenty of times, and we talked about that not that long ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, 2 is, you know, you watch that just for sure, pure shock value. Like, oh God, like how could they butcher this that bad? I popped on 3 and I watched about a half hour of it, and I found it like nigh unwatchable. Like,
wow, you made it through War of the Worlds, but you didn't make it through Highlander 3.
Yeah, I don't know what that says about me.
Well, War of the Worlds is such a fascinating train wreck. It's kind of like it was hard to look away.
It's unstoppable.
Yeah,
it was unstoppable. What about, oh crap, I had another one and it just disappeared once I mentioned Highlander.
I mean, should I just not worry about Highlander 3 and try to go to the next one? Like,
Did you actually watch all the Terminators? Because I don't think I saw the last.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
All right. I think I've seen many of them, but that might be worth revisiting.
How many do you think there are
6
of Resident Evil movies? Let's see.
I think I saw 3 of them.
There are, well, all right, so there's 6 from the first series, quote unquote, and then there was sort of a
Mila
reboot.
Jovovich.
Yes, there's 6 of those, and then there was Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, which is live action? Is it? Yeah, it was a live action film based on the game. That was a 2021 reboot, and that's getting rebooted next year. Well,
so you know that 2021 one was awesome.
It looks outstanding. It just looks stellar.
And you got to reboot after 1 movie?
Actually, now I got to wonder about Silent Hill, because didn't they do a couple of those movies too?
I saw the first one. It was, if I remember correctly, it did a pretty good job of capturing the feel of the game. I loved that game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember being absolutely blown away by the movie, but I remember feeling like they did a halfway decent job with it. But it's been a minute.
I have two pretty like vivid memories of Silent Hill, the game. The first game we played at your house, Sean. We stayed up all night playing that game, and it was like super creepy and weird. Like, it was you, me, I think Chung was there. I can't remember who else. And then, I don't know, we might have slept for like a couple hours, and then we got up and you introduced us all to Dead Alive, and we watched Dead Alive. And then we had just finished this movie where there was like, a guy with a lawnmower like hacking up zombies, and there was like intestines flying everywhere. And your mom walks in with a big bowl of spaghetti, and she was like, "All right, I made spaghetti, everybody." So that night sticks out for me. And then when I was in college, Silent Hill 2 came out, and I remember, me and a couple friends would go to my friend's house, and we would play like board by board. And like my one friend was like so freaked out by this. Like he had to like, he would get overwhelmed and he would have to like walk out of the room, right? And like, it was one of those games where, sometimes when you like get a gun, like it's not like, oh, that's your weapon now. Like sometimes it's, oh, you got to like save the bullets for when you really need them. Like we thought that was the strategy. And my friend Jurgen kept going like, Paul, switch back to the board with the nail. You got to switch back to the board with the nail in it. And I'm like, dude. And he's like, for my own personal edification, switch back to the board with the nail. And then I also remember like there was a lot of like creepy sounds that came out of individual speakers, and like the main character was named James, and out of the back speaker it goes James, and my friend James is like, what the fuck? Yeah, those were cool games.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know how many Dragonheart movies have you seen?
I didn't. I'm probably not even one. What's a Dragonheart movie?
Where Sean Connery is the voice of the dragon?
I am the last one.
I am the last one. I thought there was one. I thought there was one movie.
How many Dragonheart movies are there?
There's 6.
I remember loving the original Dragonheart. I don't think it's a great movie, but like, boy, did that movie hold a special place in my heart, because it was Sean Connery as a freaking dragon, and it looked awesome.
Didn't we?
And I've never seen any of the direct-to-video sequels, but that shit kept going.
Didn't we walk out of some movie about dragons?
That was probably Dungeons and Dragons, if I had to guess.
I walked out of what was the Signs? I walked out of that movie.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't blame you.
I didn't hate that movie. I'm not sitting here telling you it's the greatest movie ever, by no stretch.
I hate jump
it.
scares, like almost more than anything. I absolutely despise jump scares, and that movie was just like, it was just so gratuitous with jump scares. Be like, all right, we're gonna walk into this cornfield and there's gonna be a jump scare. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm out of here. I don't give a shit what's going on. I'm out, and I just left. That was a good time. But yeah, 6 Dragonheart movies. Neverending Story is another one that kept going too. I think they made like 4 of those.
Trying to look up movies with dragon in them. Pete's Dragon, Kiss of the Dragon, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I definitely walked out of some movie that had dragons, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, was it Rain of Fire?
Oh, maybe.
The fact that me and Chris both assume it's Rain of Fire.
Let me look it up.
I've never seen
Christian
that one, but I heard it was
Bale
really
and,
bad. It was Matthew McConaughey, right?
Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale. Yeah.
No, that was 2002. This would have been squarely in the 90s, whatever this thing was that I walked out of.
Bet it was that Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah, could have been.
Well, who wants to talk about War of the Worlds?
No.
Yeah, let's do it. This is our two-part Ice Cube episode. Well, you know what? No, it's
Ice Cube.
Yeah, we're actually going to change this podcast to an Ice Cube tribute podcast.
A theater near Cube.
Yeah.
Got it.
So yeah, to our listeners at home, last time we kind of like heard some rumors that War of the Worlds was an awful travesty, and we kind of was like, oh, how fitting to talk about this when we picked this Ice Cube movie. And then I got curious and I watched it, and then I insisted that everyone had to watch War of the Worlds. if we needed to talk about K-pop Demon Hunters as a cultural touchstone, I really feel like War of the Worlds is the other thing that's going to keep us current, because that was a spectacle.
You told me to watch it. One of us looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes. It was at 4%. 4%. That's out of a scale. That's not a good score on a 1 to 10 scale. This is on a scale of 100. 4.
And it earned every 4, all 4 of them.
All 4.
So I read a little bit about it. I mean, I guess you guys know that it was filmed in 2020.
I think the word filmed is being very generous.
That it was assembled in 2020.
That's like it.
So they had 5 years to dwell on this and still made the decision to release it. That's what you're telling me.
I think they
made a whole ass Batgirl movie that we'll never get to see, but this one seeped into Amazon Prime.
I think
this.
they must have put it together and then been like, God, we can't release this. And then, years went by and somebody went, well, we have it. Maybe we should do it. That's all I can think. I think someone probably, once it was edited together, there was a conversation of can it get any better? And then someday someone said, I don't think so.
Maybe we'll lock it in a closet and it'll age like wine.
So if this was assembled in 2020, when no one was allowed to be near each other, I will give them credit. This is that 4%. This is how they earn that 4%. I will give them credit for being like, well, how do we make a movie when we can't have anybody near each other? All right, you came up with a solution to that problem. Not a great solution, but a solution. So
animated movies already existed. You didn't need to.
I'll give them a little credit for the plan. But it wasn't a great plan, but it was a plan. And if it was, if that's what they needed to do, fine. But the execution of this bad plan was the real problem. The execution, everything they did in the movie, it was a bad idea for premise. It was never going to be great, no matter what you did. But they did it poorly.
Yeah, if this was just a regular bad, if it was just the plot, which was really dumb, this was a bad movie on paper to begin with, and if that was it,
they're after our data. They're trying to get our data. Sorry.
What does that mean? Did you guys watch the pitch meeting for this, by the way?
No.
Oh my God, it's fantastic. But it was already a really dumb movie. But what made it so fascinating was that it wasn't just a bad movie. It was a bad movie in a whole different level with this Zoom call experience of just Ice Cube's in a room and he's not going to leave. He's in a room with glass doors and he can't get out of it for reasons. And there's footage, it's all surveillance cameras, and some of which can't exist.
Well,
they sent these stealth planes out. We've got live video footage of the stealth planes flying around for reasons.
Do you know how they did all the aliens attacking stuff footage?
I mean, the aliens were computer generated and not well, but
right, the aliens were computer generated and not well. And the shots that the computer generated aliens were laid over were actual news footage of real world disasters that they just then laid in CGI aliens over top of.
Well, that sounds real crass.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like laziness at its peak, right? I know
this
you couldn't.
Just seems really mean.
You couldn't go out and make a movie, but I don't know. It just it just drips with not even trying.
Wow,
it was
brutal.
There was many thoughts going through my head. One, part of me likes Eva Longoria. I don't know why exactly. I just do. So when I saw her come on, 30 seconds in, I kept thinking to myself, something blew up near or something. I was like, thank God. And then she made it, and I kept hoping she was gonna die to get her out of this.
That's how I felt about poor Clark Gregg. I was like, oh, Agent Coulson, what are you doing here?
Come on, man.
You're better than this.
I just kept hoping for her death for her sake, and it just kept not coming.
You know what though? I feel bad saying this. I have to stick up for Ice Cube a little bit. I have to look. I'm not saying I'm rushing to his defense or anything, but
we didn't start the attack on him yet.
I feel a little sorry for him, right? Because it feels like the exercise with most of the I'm gonna put this in air quotes, with most of the quote unquote filming of this movie, right, was, hey actors, get your iPad, get your phone, get whatever you got, right? We're doing a thing. How do we shape this thing as we like film it from home, right? And all the other people in the movie had something to do, right? Eva Longoria, what's her face? Andrea Savage, that was like she was some kind of agent, right? Like she ran into a building or something. Clark Gregg, Ice Cube's kids, right? Like they're like,
who were both terrible, by the way.
Oh, sure. But yeah, you know, the one of them gets injured, has to get in a car, has to be navigated somewhere, right? Like there was even though there was CGI aliens that they couldn't see and they were just filming it in their own home, right? There was like instructions and like stakes to what you're filming, right? Like you're filming a little snippet of this bigger thing, and for this snippet, oh my god, you're injured, you have to get in the car. Oh my god, you're rushing up the stairs, you got to get to the thing. Oh, check out the weather, look at this, blah blah blah. Ice Cube, that poor motherfucker was just sitting in front of a computer the whole movie, right? And like he had to probably react to other things that weren't filmed, or that he didn't even have, or that he didn't have somebody to play against. Like literally his whole instruction must have been like, look at the screen, celebrate. Oh, Ice, now you're sad, Ice. Oh, you're happy. I just feel really bad for him. Like it's kind of no wonder it was bad, because like what did he have to go on? He didn't have anything.
I'm not saying it was an easy role. They would have needed a brilliant actor to even make this thing passable.
That's what I'm saying. You needed like Tom Hanks and freaking Castaway kind of thing. Like this needed to be Ice Cube. He was just Ice Cube at the screen. Like he was ice cubing at you.
He probably
doesn't have a very big range, you know? Like how many times did he say, I got you during this movie? Like there was so many, I got you.
He
over and over again.
Acted better than I could.
How about when he threw that chair?
Maybe he acted better than me. I'm not a professional actor. I'm not. I don't even act on the weekend. Like I'm not an actor. Like that's not a bar that's acceptable. It wasn't good acting. And what it was very reminiscent of at times is that scene in Wet Hot American Summer when they're just filming Petruglio.
Where you're just watching their reaction to the
Joe Petruglio,
person
is that his name?
Saving the people on the river.
Yeah, he's like, oh my gosh, he's doing it. He's actually doing it. I can't believe it. He's got him. He's got that kid. Right? It seemed like that scene, only it made Joe Petruglio? I can't think of that guy's name.
Joe
Latrulio. It made him seem like he was actually doing good acting when he was intentionally trying to not do good acting.
Right.
Because Ice Cube's acting, he jumped back when he thought his kid was dead. He was like, oh man! Like, he thought his kid was dead.
Right. And my argument in support of Ice Cube is I don't think the quote unquote directors actually said, in this scene, your kid is dead. I think they said, now we need some footage of you acting sad. You know?
I hope you're right. That'll let him off the hook and put the blame squarely on the director. But it was incomprehensibly bad.
Like Ice Cube was not the right person for this role in like any universe. I don't understand why. If you're like Ice Cube has a very particular set of skills that we've seen in XXX State of the Union.
Mm-hmm.
And none of those skills were required for this movie besides people running for their lives while holding their camera phones up to face them because everything is a FaceTime call.
To face themselves? Why?
Oh no, I'm running for my life from this thing that is blowing things up. But I'd better use one of my hands to hold my camera phone up to my face.
To my
where
face.
There's definitely still service, even though the internet is dead, but not.
the actress that Paul mentioned, the blonde that was like an agent, at one point she's like what you say, running for her life, and she's like making it a point to hold the camera on her face, even though she's not really talking to him. And I'm like, well, you said, like, you're running for your life. You probably dropped the phone, fine. But even if you want to say she's a well-trained agent, she'd be probably pointing the camera at something useful. Why would you have the camera pointing at you? How does that help you convey anything to Ice Cube? Does not.
No, it was just constant bad decisions from the get-go.
The son was a terrible actor.
Well,
oh my God, the son that was also the hacker, like, gee, nobody saw that coming.
They didn't give us any other options. You introduced like 6 characters, and you were like, you know, here's a mystery character. It's somebody here. You're like, well, if it's Ice Cube, I'll be impressed because I don't see that coming.
No, it was Ice Cube's son, and all he had to do was slow down. All he had to do was pitch correct his talking. That's all he did to find his identity was pitch. He's been this guy is like the super I'll find anybody guy in the CIA or whatever organization he's in. Ice Cube can find anybody, except he can't find this one hacker dude because he never bothered to lower the pitch on his audio to find out that it was his son.
Look.
Like, it was the most basic thing that he could have done to try to descramble his voice. There was nothing to it but just lowering the pitch. Holy cow.
Let's be clear about this. You called Ice Cube a, like, super spy, find anybody guy. I'm going to rephrase what you said, and I'm going to say that Ice Cube was a straight-up stalker. Like,
oh my God.
like,
he was awful to his kids. Like, just the thorough invasion of privacy was like...
And then there was a moment where he's like sitting back and he's not responding. And I'm like, of course he's not going to respond, because if he responds to something they're talking about, they're going to know he's stalking him. And so this is his anguish face for not being able to address the situation. And that not even wisdom, that common logic lasted for about 30 seconds before he went and did something about it and like typed something to her. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now they know.
Or like,
or he went on Facebook and accepted a request or whatever. I don't remember exactly.
That's what it was.
Like,
he watches these kids, or I guess not the son, because he would have known that he's the hacker, but the daughter and the son-in-law. He watches them every minute of every day. I think to his detriment, in that, like, sometimes he was not doing his job because he was spying on his children, right? Like, I think at one point,
oddly was his job, he just didn't know it.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I think at one point, like, literally the president is trying to call him, and he's like, all right, get in the car, pick up the latte, whatever, like, whatever it was that he was doing, because he was spying on his kids. Yeah, what happened was he was spying on them, and in the conversation, it was revealed that, like, the son-in-law was mad because he's not yet accepted his Facebook friend request. And it's like, all right, you watch these kids like every hour, every day, but you haven't accepted his friend request. Like, it was bananas.
I hated this movie. I can't say that I didn't have some... I laughed so much during this movie, but I hated it with every fiber of my being. But I couldn't look away. And there were so many points in the movie where they would just blurt out something so incredibly asinine that I would just laugh my head off. Like, I laughed so hard. But I wouldn't recommend anybody watch it for more than a few minutes, because that's all you need.
And one of you said this to me before we watched. You were like, they just repeat the same bit of dialogue over and over. And holy crap, they do. It's like they got tired of writing it, and they were just like, just say this, stuff like that, Ice Cube. And he just repeated the one line they wrote, like, over and over in scenes. Like, just would say the same thing again.
I mean, I'm glad that you watched the whole thing, Chris. Like, I'm glad that you experienced it. I hope that you did it with,
That means Paul hates you, Chris.
I hope that, this movie was playing in the background while you were doing, like, actual important things instead of...
I couldn't. You can't listen to this movie. You have to look at it, because so much of it is communicated via text.
That's true.
Like, I watched it like over lunch and stuff, and I couldn't look away.
I mean, I was advocating for you to watch a half an hour of it, because my feeling was, like, once you got to the point where he, like, got the daughter in the Tesla and was like navigating the Tesla, I was like, all right, by that point, I feel like you've gotten the flavor of the movie, you know, like I don't think you need any more, you know? But yeah.
It's no longer a matter of need.
Yeah.
It was a matter of desire.
This was my feeling about this. Like you guys were talking about like it wasn't necessarily what it was, that it was the way it was made or whatever. I could not help but feel this way. Like, so when everything shut down in 2020, like, I think there was a brief time in 2020 where we all felt like maybe it was temporary. Like, oh, if we just get through this, then we can, you know, then we're back to normal, Then there was a certain point where we were like, oh, this isn't as temporary as we thought, right? And like my school, we went online for a whole year after that. The 2021 year, we were completely online. So like there was a lot of people, my school included, that were like, oh, how do we do theater? How do we do theater online? And like I feel like what we came up with was like a little better because we weren't trying to like produce quote unquote live things that people zoomed in on. Like we were essentially making content, right? Like we were producing a thing on Zoom, and then it would get edited and turned into a YouTube thing or whatever. And then it was like, yeah, people can watch it when they want to. Like, and we tried to do like topical things. Like one thing was about, you know, the students did monologues about like essential workers or whatever, right? And they got edited and stuff like that. So I'm not saying this stuff was brilliant, right? But I feel like we tried to like rise to the moment and embrace whatever that was, right? But sometimes when we were planning it, it was like, what if we do this? What if we do that? And I'd be like, yeah, or what if we don't do that? Like, what if we just wait till we could like do it again for real? Like, why are we like trying to like do a thing when it's like everything is against you, that it's going to be bad and awful? And like, I feel like this is what this movie was, that it was like, hey guys, let's get together and do a thing, you know, like, I don't know, do we really need to? I don't know, what else are we gonna do? You got a phone, right? Let's do it, let's make them, you know. And like, I feel like this is one of these things where people tried to like rise to the moment, and it's like, you just should have waited till you could actually make a movie. Like, we didn't need this.
These are all real actors and should have known better. I almost felt that first scene with Phil Coulson. That's right. Just got to keep calling him Phil Coulson.
You can do that.
It looked like he was supposed to have just been getting done a workout or something. And I like to think that he was just getting done a workout, and they just called him, and you know, and this was just him rolling with whatever. Like, he didn't even know he was going to be in a movie. You know, Ice Cube just called him up and was like, General, I need to get more data into my computer. And he was like, well, we're going to get to the president. We're going to let him know what you need. Like, I like to think he was just at home rolling with the punch.
Hey, Clark, you want to be in a movie? Great, you're in it right now.
It's happening.
Say some
your lines, whatever you're saying.
Say some secret agent stuff. Well, thanks for watching that, guys.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for taking that bullet first.
I was happy to. Look, I mean, this has been a pleasure with Ice Cube, right? Like, we got to see him in XXX State of the Union in his prime there, and then, like, I feel like it was cool to watch him as Old Man Cube with his, like, salt and pepper beard. Like, yeah.
Oh, we didn't even touch on XXX yet. That was a movie.
It's not getting any earlier, so we should probably get started on that.
Fair enough.
XXX State of the Union, also known as XXX 2 The Next Level and XXX State of Emergency outside North America, was released in theaters on April 29th, 2005. The A-Team was released in 2010, and was distributed by Sony Pictures. It was written by Simon Kinberg and directed by Lee Tamahori. Kinberg's other writing works include X-Men: The Last Stand, the 2015 Fantastic Four, aka Fan Four Stick, and Jumper. Tamahori's other directorial works include 007, Die Another Day, The Edge, and Along Came a Spider. The movie stars Ice Cube, Willem Dafoe, Scott Speedman, Peter Strauss, and Samuel L. Jackson. Tells the story of an imprisoned Marine who was broken out of jail to become an extreme special agent who likes cars or something. He has to team up with and get betrayed by numerous women in various states of undress.
Yep, that's what happened.
Fair enough.
That is indeed what happened. Me, Karen, and Greg watched this via nefarious means. I ate carrot sticks in order to stay awake.
It was free on Tubi, you asshole. There was no reason to be nefarious.
I started watching it on Tubi, and then we got to a commercial, and I was like, fuck this noise, and then I put it on the Plex.
No. I will not be contributing to any financial success for anyone involved in this.
I also watched it on nefarious means. Again, I started watching it on Tubi, concluded watching it on Plex once I realized I was going to have to contend with commercials, and I ate some brownies.
I drank beer and ate York peppermint patties that I keep in my freezer because I'm not a psychopath. Those things are better cold.
You might be a psychopath for watching this movie. Hey,
I mean, I don't know, man. Let's see.
You know what? If we're going to compare it to the movie we just talked about, this movie was great.
True, yeah, it was a big step up.
It was a competent movie. It had plot. There was different scenes. Things happened. Everybody was involved. It was great.
Every woman had their boobs very on display. There was a scene where there was lots of welding going on and sparks flying, and I'm pretty sure the woman that was doing the welding wasn't even wearing a shirt. Just
out.
Got one of those, one of those big old masks on got to protect the eyes, but just nothing else.
That's how real action stars weld.
In a bra. Fantastic.
Can I suggest something that is a little unorthodox for how we do this?
We all go to bed?
Good night, everybody. No, can I read about this movie, the plot from the Wikipedia page, and then each paragraph we just stop and we like talk about what happened in that part of the movie and like things we remember? Because like, here's the thing. I watched this movie 2 nights ago. When I watched it, I was like, boom, brilliant. No notes. Glad we picked that. That was a brilliant movie. 2 days later, I can't remember shit all that happened in this movie.
I also don't remember almost anything besides there was a farm, and it was very clear. The beginning was very clearly shot in 3D. Like there were things flying at the screen, and I was like, oh, that was designed to be viewed in 3D.
So there was only like 5 or 6 meaningful chunks here. Like the first big open is the farm gets attacked. There's like a secret headquarters under a farm. Samuel L. Jackson's there. He's running the show. And it's, look, as far as the directing and the action, it's fine. You're right. Things were flying at the screen. I didn't think of 3D. But now that you mention it, yeah, they were doing some sort of 3D thing there.
And Samuel L. Jackson and the nerdy white guy were from the first XXX movie. Right. I guess they were the thing that was supposed to tie this franchise together, you know, that
besides them continuously saying that Xander Cage or Xander Payne or whatever his name was unceremoniously died off screen.
In Bora Bora. They mentioned that a couple times. He was killed in Bora Bora.
Which means now we definitely need to watch the third one the next time we come across X, because I got to know how he survived.
I don't think it's covered. I think they just were like, surprise. Yeah, like I think they just kind of gloss over it.
And you know what? At the end of this movie, Samuel Jackson is getting on an elevator. That's right. We just went from the beginning to the end. It's fine.
Right.
He gets on this elevator and he's talking to the nerdy kid. And he's like, we're going to need someone even more extreme now. And the kid's like who? Or more extreme? Where are you going to find that? He's like, I got someone in mind. And then the door closes. And I thought they were going to come back with an after credit scene and just show you, I don't know, whoever the hell they felt like, you know, the next guy was going to, you know, just pick an action star. It doesn't matter. Like, just be like,
who's going to be The Rock?
Right. Like, show me The Rock, you know, doing, I don't know, lifting weights or building a tank. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just a quick clip to, like, you know, but they didn't. And now, from time having elapsed, we know they go back to the other guy in the other one. So like that
Yeah,
sentence
what
just
happened?
didn't
I
go
want-
anywhere.
They really teased a follow-up, and then they waited 12 years to make the return of Xander Cage.
Well, I think, if I remember correctly, so first of all, I think that Samuel L. Jackson is in the beginning of that third movie, but then they write him out of it pretty quick. And I think it was literally like Samuel L. Jackson was just like, I'm done with this bullshit. Like, I think he was like, I am not going to be the Nick Fury of 2 franchises. Sorry, guys. Like, get me out of here. And I think with what's his face, Vin Diesel, it was literally like, you know, like, hey man, what else do you have going for you? Like, you seem to be good at these franchise things. Maybe this is the other thing that you revive. Like, I think he was just looking back to his successes and trying to capitalize on one more. I don't know.
Whoa. We missed something important. On the Wikipedia page, short film, The Final Chapter, The Death of Xander Cage. Included with the 2005 director's cut DVD of the first film is a 4-minute short titled The Final Chapter, The Death of Xander Cage, that serves as a prequel to XXX State of the Union by detailing the alleged death of Xander Cage before the events of that film. In the short film, Xander is played by Vin Diesel's stunt double, who never shows his face or speaks. Name is Christian Lupo, while reusing some archival lines spoken by Diesel. It also features Layla Arcieri as Jordan King from the first film, and John C. Connolly as Lieutenant Colonel Alabama Bama Cobb, one of the villains from XXX State of the Union, who is Decker's right-hand man as the man behind the attack on Xander.
Wait,
The sequence...
are you telling me that they made a 4-minute movie that explains his death, and they didn't just make it part of this movie? Like, this should have been how this movie started.
Right?
Especially since one of the bad guys in this movie apparently is the guy who kills Xander.
Yeah.
So that makes
What
me
the hell?
angry.
The sequence
Mad
opens
enough
with
to
Xander
kill.
driving in a car with Jordan King. He stops next to his apartment building. King makes sexual overtures to him, and they get intimate. Suddenly, they hear a noise, and Xander goes to check it out. Cobb's men show up and abduct King. They plant a bomb in the building and drop her coat on the steps to trick Xander to his death. After confronting a homeless man, Xander returns to the building. He takes the bait left by Cobb and his henchmen and is apparently blown apart by a huge explosion. His trademark coat survives the blast. Cobb shows up and picks up a piece of burnt skin from Xander's neck, which has the XXX tattoo on it.
Awesome.
He remarks, quote, "Poor Xander, you never had very much between the ears." His men pick him up and drive off in their car. Cobb's motives for killing Xander are obvious. He doesn't want him to interfere in Deckert's plans. Führer Frey by Rammstein plays in the background during the sequence.
Picking up the skin is awesome.
Wow, like, oh, God.
So then,
Now I'm really sad I didn't see that.
does this Wikipedia page explain how he gets that Xander Cage comes back in the third movie?
According to this, XXX Return of Xander Cage, 2017, the film was released on January 20th, 2017, and sees the return of Diesel as Xander Cage, who comes out of self-imposed exile, thought to be long dead, and is set on a collision course with a deadly Alpha Warrior and his team in a race to recover a sinister and seemingly unstoppable weapon known as Pandora's Box. No, they don't mention anything about how he returned. I mean, it's just this is a Palpatine.
Yeah.
Somehow Xander Cage returned.
I mean, maybe it's better you don't see this 4-minute movie so you can buy into the fact that he was just in exile and comes back for the third movie. Or yeah,
I like it even better that he was in a self-imposed exile and, like, I don't know, had a spare piece of skin with XXX tattooed on it to leave behind.
I keep this in my pocket in case anyone tries to blow me up.
Just in case.
I just fling it out to the wreckage. They'll find it.
Oh,
That's
wow.
amazing. Now I really want to see this. I'm so sad I didn't realize it existed. Also, now I'm kind of upset I didn't watch the director's cut. What other goodness did we miss in the director's cut of XXX State of the Union?
Or in the third one, man, I can't wait till we get back to X now. In the third one, I hope they show him, like, after he kills some guy, he's tattooing 3 X's on the dead guy's neck and then ripping the back of his skin off. He's like, I need this for later.
I remember when we watched the first one that we picked out a lot of like kind of ridiculous stunt scenes that was kind of the appeal of the movie. The third one, I seem to remember there being sort of equal amount of like ludicrousness in terms of the stunt things, but I felt like the plot was like incomprehensible.
I don't remember a single thing about the first movie. Not one thing.
I remember we had a whole big conversation. There was a boat chase at the end that like he like zip lines onto this boat and he has to like, I don't know, defuse the bomb before the thing hits something. I remember that being a big thing. There was a snowboarding thing. He like kind of like caused an avalanche and then he had to like snowboard away from the avalanche.
And then there was that scene that was contrived so he could ride that bike up that roof of that farm.
Oh, right. That was in the beginning.
But
yeah.
If I remember, like, while it was contrived and it was just like gluing things together, at the same time, I'd have to go back and listen to our podcast now. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, it was a dopey action movie, but it was fine. Like, I don't feel like this second one, lived up to the high bar set by the first one.
Well, I almost feel like this movie was kind of just a pretty solid spy movie, like just kind of could have been like a, like an action spy movie, like any generic thing. And that they kind of like slapped the XXX, like brand on it, like I guess it was a little bit time saving to start with, Samuel L. Jackson and the nerdy white guy, and kind of like it lands you square in this world and you don't need to catch up on anything. You're like, okay, we're in this facility gets attacked, like we got to get a new XXX. But they went to great lengths to justify their choice of Ice Cube, that like Samuel L. Jackson, they're like, oh, who are we going to get? Another snowboarder, another, skateboarder, whatever. And he's like, no, we need something different this time, and that like he goes and gets Ice Cube and they even talk about it. And they're like, he's this, this incarcerated, former army, former Marine, whatever it is. And like every chance he get, Ice Cube's is like, I don't do that shit. I don't ski. I don't, like they kind of went out of their way to like justify this when I think it was enough that like Ice Cube was just the action star of this, like I almost feel like it didn't need to be a XXX movie.
Right. It also raises the question if Samuel L. Jackson already knew Ice Cube and he knew he was a Navy SEAL and he's, whatever, badass and he could do everything, why did he go get Xander Cage in that first movie? Why didn't he go get Ice Cube?
I sort of had this same question, and I was like, when Samuel L. Jackson went and got Ice Cube, did he already know that Willem Dafoe was behind it? Like, was he already on his way to get the guy that the bad guy put away? You know what I'm saying?
Oh. I was going to say, he definitely knew that Ice Cube was in jail for punching Willem Dafoe. Yeah, I don't know. You're wondering if Samuel Jackson already had it figured out.
I mean, sort of, yeah.
I got nothing on that. Oh, here's one thing that did hit me. Like, why did Samuel Jackson go back to his house? Like, whatever he went to get there, like, they show him looking at some old photos of, like, him and his army buddies, and it's got, like, the squad, and, like, maybe Ice Cube was in the photo, maybe Willem Dafoe was in the photo, but, like, that wasn't to figure anything out, and we don't see him again until he's getting, until Ice Cube frees him out of a jail cell at the end. So whatever he went to his house for, they clearly didn't need, because they got through the rest of the movie without it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, what, nope, that thought's gone. Left the station.
He was just like, they tried to kill me and they missed. Let me go back to my house and grab some old photos for, memories.
I mean, I'm still a little hazy on how Samuel L. Jackson survived. I guess
Off
they
camera.
always wanted to lock up the people from that unit, and they just blew up his house so he looked like he was dead.
I had concerns about the fact that the blonde girl was on the frickin' cover of the movie, and she was barely in it. But there was like another female lead that was in the movie for a bunch, and she wasn't on the cover.
Oh yeah, that's
And
true.
her boobs were equally on display. So,
Yeah.
like,
That they were.
what's that about?
Yeah.
why
Yeah, I
did
don't
they
know.
blow up his house? They wanted to take him and frame him, so I get why they didn't kill him. Not a great plan, but all right, fine. But yeah, I don't know why they faked his death. That didn't make a lot of sense. And one thing I really did appreciate and enjoy, when Ice Cube hits that girl, and Samuel Jackson's like, "Why'd you kill her?"
Yeah.
That was my first thought. I was like, why doesn't he just shoot her? She's the bad guy. Like, what? I was annoyed. I was like, I'm sick of this sexism in movies. If you could just shoot a guy in the head, just shoot the girl in the head. Who cares? Bullet in the face, dead.
Sam Jackson doesn't care.
Yeah.
He took care of business.
Right. Sam Jackson doesn't give a shit. He's like, told you, kill this bitch.
Oh, right. He said that when he was locked up, right? When they fought in
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of wish he had shot her even when she wasn't a threat. Like, knocked out on the ground. Like, as soon as they undid his duct tape, he just took out a gun and shot her in the head. Like, fuck her. Like, what? She killed a bunch of people. We're done with this.
I got a good laugh out of some stuff. I thought it was funny how like generically stereotypical the president was. Like,
Oh my God.
like the moment that
White president man.
the moment that we meet the president, you know, like he and Willem Dafoe are like walking through the walls of the White House, you know, the halls of the White House, and it was almost like a West Wing thing, the like walking and talking thing where the camera, you know, grabs a conversation that's already in process, and he says something
Tulips
like,
or roses.
well, why do I need to listen to the EPA? A tree is a tree, or something like that. And I was like, wow, like that's the line we came up with. Like that guy was a hoot, I thought. I also thought Ice Cube's jailbreak was interesting. Like how, like, you know, like he gets out there, he gets on the roof or whatever, and like Samuel L. Jackson told him this like specific time, and they have this like sort of discussion about like, oh, you were late or it took you longer or whatever. But like, it was amazing because like he jumped off this roof, and like the way the camera showed it, there was nothing around. Like he clearly jumped head first into a void. Like I almost looked at him and I was like, cool, he chose death. Like it was it was very clear from the shot. And then out of nowhere, this helicopter, you know, like materializes and he grabs the side of it. Like it was just funny in that it was shown not that he was jumping towards a helicopter, but that he was jumping and then a helicopter somehow like swooped in.
A silent helicopter. A helicopter that nobody saw or heard until that moment. And after that moment, that helicopter was plenty loud, making lots of helicopter noises. Before that, that stealth helicopter just snuck up on everybody.
I mean, I guess if you're Samuel L. Jackson, you can get a stealth helicopter.
You can get Airwolf. Come right in.
I did laugh at when Ice Cube was like, you know, when they're like, what are you going to do now? And he's like, we got to make a stop. You know, I've been in jail for like 9 years or something. I want what every man wants. And they show him like wolfing down that burger.
As soon as he said that, I was like, it's a hamburger. They want us to think it's sex, but it's actually a hamburger. And then he goes there and he's just violently eating this burger.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was played well. Like I thought Ice Cube delivered it well, and then yeah, I think that him ravenously devouring this burger did make me laugh. What was the guy's name that like ran that like garage?
Oh, I don't remember.
He's like a rapper. Is it like,
oh, was it Exhibit?
Exhibit? Is it Exhibit or is it Zibbit?
Oh, it's Exhibit,
Okay.
if that's him.
I mean, I thought that was funny too, because remember he had that show on MTV called Pimp My Ride?
Yeah, and it's like XXX. And
Yeah.
XXX.
And like, I used to like those memes where he would be like, you know, he'd be like, yo, dog, I heard you like surfing the internet and you're on the toilet. Like, we put a toilet and a screen in your car so you can log in while you log out or something like that. You know, like they would make all these like memes that was like, yo, dog, I hear you like a blank and a blank. So we put a blank and a blank so you can blank while you blank.
Brilliant.
They needed to make that joke in the movie. Like he needed to pimp one of these cars and then be like, yo, Cube, I heard you like this. I liked when Ice Cube pretended to be Billy Bob Baker at that.
Uh-huh.
that the Reverend Billy Bob Baker.
Willem Dafoe wasn't unhinged enough either. He could have been more unhinged.
Yeah. It was a waste of his talents. He wasn't over the top. Towards the end, he started making some pretty crazy decisions, but even then, he seemed, together.
There was a couple times in the movie where characters said it's going to be World War IV.
Right, that was a whole thing. They were very specifically skipping over World War III, which, as far as I know, hadn't happened in 2005.
Yeah, like part of me started being like, in the first XXX movie, was there a World War III? Like that's what I was trying to decipher.
In the XXX world, there was a World War III sometime after the first movie, but before this.
Yeah, I mean,
Clearly.
could have used some context on that.
The one of the most unhinged things he did was at the end. They're on this train going whatever 180 miles an hour, and the driver's like, "Well, the air brakes are broken. I can't stop her," and he just shoots him. He's like, "Well, then I don't need you." Like, no,
No, you probably could have used him for something else.
I don't know. What's your plan now? Like, what's the next part of this? How you getting off the train? Like, where? Like. And then later the train blows up and you get a close-up of his face where he seems distraught about it. But like 5 minutes ago, when you shot the driver of the 180-mile-an-hour train with nowhere to stop it and you're on it, you kind of already knew this was where this was going, right? Like, that seems the moment you're accepting death when you shoot the driver. You're like, yeah, well, we're dead.
I had a good run. It's over now.
I'm actually sort of surprised that you skipped over the part where he... Like, all right, so
we were gonna go through the plot of this movie, and we just kind of crapped all over that. So, I mean, look,
we started. There was the opening scene,
yeah,
and then they go break out Ice Cube. Then he goes to the car place because he's looking for the girl, but then she's at the better place, and then they go there. Then what happens?
Yeah, see, Sean decided we didn't need a recap, so
Sean is the recap,
and then he meets the nicer girl. And then he meets the not nice girl. And then they kill Samuel Jackson because he goes home for no reason. There was no reason for him to go home. He didn't explain why he wanted to go home. When he was in the house, he just looked at some photos. It really pissed me off. He deserved to be shot. That was just stupid. And then the next plot point is Ice Cube goes upriver because they're loading up for World War IV.
Hang on, wait.
An aircraft carrier.
You just finished talking about Samuel L. Jackson's house blowing up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the next thing is they go back to the farm.
Hang on. I can pick up right where I'm looking at the page. I can pick up right where you left off. Stone meets with Gibbons' contact, Charlie Mayweather. That's the girl, to get information. Charlie directs Stone to a party where Stone recognizes that Deckard's bodyguards are members of his old SEAL team unit, before overhearing Deckard arguing with General Jack Pettibone. Stone goes to Charlie's safe house, but is framed for murdering Pettibone, realizing that she is involved in the conspiracy. So that was when he goes there. There was clearly that like sexual thing between them, and then he gets out of the shower and like has to fight off. Oh, that was when he cooked all the food in the microwave and threw it in when he cooked all the food in the
sake.
microwave to fool the heat seeker and hid in the fridge. That was something.
There was Ice Cube in the fridge.
Ice Cube in the freezer, dog.
Right before that, they replayed the sex for food joke where the girl's like, anything you need. And like is clearly coming on to him and he's like, I'll take a burger and fries. But he meant it.
Well, he didn't get the burger and fries earlier, right? Because that was his thing at the bar. He was like, "No, I'm no more burger and fries," and then he just fucking left. Like, I thought the burger and fries was real important to you, but no, you just all right, cool. That's
What was her
fine.
plan? She was coming on to him like, let's go in the other room and have sex. But like she really needed him to like get in the shower for 10 minutes so she could set up this whole murder scene and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Like,
She could have boned him first. She's got time.
does she? Where was the dead body hidden? In her trunk? Were there people waiting at the door with the dead body? How long was his shower?
I think the bit with that girl too was also to try to revive the joke from the other XXX movie where he's like,
right.
"Oh, the things I do for my country," like where there's ladies hitting on him, and it's like, the thing, like that line was literally from the first one, if I recall.
Right. And it was a weird, I mean, I'm not saying it was bad or good, just a weird move. Like they just made a hard left from that. Like in the first one, I'm pretty sure XXX slept with like a bunch of ladies. And in this one, like Ice Cube just keeps being like, nah. Like at one point he almost kisses that girl and then the white guy walks in, the nerdy guy. But,
Yeah.
like he just keeps saying no to women the whole movie and wanting food instead.
Oh, I had some thoughts about the nerdy guy. I mean, look, in general, I like the nerdy guy. Like, I kind of thought that the trio of Sam Jackson, Ice Cube, and the nerdy white guy was fun. And I thought it was, like, a fun dynamic, and they made a lot of, like, jokes in that vein. But I think, if I recall from the first one, and, like, I think from what they were going for with this one, that the nerdy white guy is kind of almost like the Q character in James Bond, right? That
That's
like
100% what they were going for.
yeah,
It
like
was
that
just
he's like the quartermaster, that he makes the weird gizmos that like save the day. And like he literally made a thing that looked like it was to climb walls, and they do this joke where he magnets himself to a car door and like they bring him in and out on a mechanic like hook winch thing, and they like fly him up in the air and they mess with him or whatever. And this thing that he made like never got used anywhere. Like that angle was like wasted because he didn't make anything that they did cool stuff with.
when he made that thing, and then when Ice Cube had to get from a car onto a moving train, you would think this is the moment. This is coming out. He's gonna get alongside this thing and suction to the window using the fun gadget. It did not happen. They were like, fuck it, just crash into the back. He doesn't need no gadget. He's Ice Cube.
No, what I was about to say before when you were talking about the train, it was like I can't believe you glossed over the part where he like, so all right, so there's literally a like treasonous act in the Capitol building, right? Like who knew that who knew that XXX movies were going to be topical like 20 years earlier. But and then they're like, okay, we can get William Dafoe out of here, or William Dafoe and the president, right? You'll get them out of there we're going to get the president out of here on the bullet train. And then like Ice Cube has to chase that bullet train, which like, there's no way he would have caught up to that bullet train. Like they get out front. He has to get a car, get in the car, like get on roads that like parallel the train track. By that point, that train probably would have already been where it was going, right? But like, okay, he's chasing the train. Then he jumps onto the track and the wheels disintegrate and the car becomes like a train on the track.
The car becomes a train, Paul. That's why he's got Q. So he's got a transformer train. And all secret spy cars' wheels are also the same width,
Yeah,
diameter.
they perfectly fit on train tracks. That's how that works.
They're built that way.
He definitely said some Ice Cube line before he did that too. Like right before he like violently jumped onto the train tracks and the wheels disintegrated. He had one of those classic Ice Cube one-liners. I just can't remember what it was.
He crashes into the train, gets on there. We skipped the part that we mentioned earlier about him launching the one tank at the other tank, but we briefly touched on it. That whole fight scene was pretty over the top, and to some extent good, but, and on the other side, ridiculous.
The fact that the tank was dodging rockets was like in real time. He was just like able to steer this tank out of the way of the rockets being launched at him that kept hilariously blowing up the other things. God, this was dumb.
Yeah. When I was watching it, I felt like it was the right choice, but when I finished it, I was like, oh, that was kind of forgettable.
Clearly it was the right choice. We've had a lot of enjoyable conversation.
And honestly, it was the letter X.
Yeah, it was the X-Files or X-Men, so...
Yeah. Perhaps...
Well, I'm done. I can't talk about this anymore.
Perhaps this prompted more spirited conversation, because I feel like the X-Files and the X-Men we've seen a lot. I think sometimes with that there's maybe you find things to say, but most of the things are like, I like this movie. This movie is like, boy, what was Ice Cube doing?
He was doing Ice Cube.
He sure was.
He was doing Ice Cube all over the place.
I have no complaints about Ice Cube in this movie.
He was perfectly
exactly
cast.
What he was supposed to do.
This was exactly what an Ice Cube movie should be.
Right.
War of the Worlds was exactly what an Ice Cube movie should not be.
Right. Yeah. Good casting, bad cast.
All right, it's time for us to pick. Or what are we giving? We giving this a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways?
I don't know
thumbs.
anymore. I don't know what I'd give this.
Watch this if you've watched the first one and you want to watch the third one too.
Or don't, because apparently there's no continuity that's going to make that work.
Well, look, I've looked at the cast list and Ice Cube is in the third one, so clearly there's some sort of connective tissue, and I'm very excited for like a year and a half or whatever to get back to it and find out what it is.
Yeah.
Do you think that the next Fast and Furious movie will be out by the time we get to watch the third XXX movie?
God, I hope so. I think it's supposed to come out, this coming summer. I think that's when it's been. Well, you know what? I don't know if it's 26 or 27. We should check. But you know what I was thinking about? That they really boned this, because that kid, he ain't gonna be a kid anymore.
Which kid?
I think they filmed it already.
Little B, remember?
God, I don't remember Fast 10 anymore. I remember Gal Gadot was on a submarine, and then there was a dam that exploded, and The Rock showed up at some point. I don't friggin' remember.
There was all the things with Vin Diesel's son, little Brian, little B, and it started out with him showing him how to drive, teaching him how to drive, and he says something about like trust the road and let go of the wheel or something like that. Some weird cryptic thing that like where the advice never like really materialized into anything. And then the kid got teamed up with John Cena. Like John Cena had to like get the kid to the next place, and John Cena got blown up, and the kid like jumped out of the car. And when it ended, Vin Diesel and the kid were in a car on a bridge, like jumping off the bridge to get away from like two trucks colliding, and like that's how it ended. So like if they haven't filmed it at a point where this kid is still the same age, like they're gonna have a huge problem on their hands.
Nah, they'll just gloss right over it.
When I think about how much time has elapsed, I feel like they really missed the mark. Like I think they had a lot of momentum going when Fast X came out, and I feel like now people are starting to not care
anymore. All right, well, time for us to pick our next movies. So we're on the letter Y. I guess I'll go first because I don't know that I have the most exciting one, but I'm gonna say it anyway because we're in a unique position where the letter Y is falling on October. So I think we should watch Young Frankenstein.
Okay.
No, it's a movie we've seen before. I mean, I've seen it. It's been a little, it's been a minute, but it's not like this movie hasn't been quoted. But also, like, what are we gonna do? It's Young Frankenstein, and it's October. It's the Halloween spooky season. It just feels right.
Well, sticking with the Halloween theme, I went with Yentl. I went with Young Sherlock Holmes, which, if you haven't seen it, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but Young Sherlock Holmes, I remember really liking it. It's probably been 10, 15 years since I saw it. I remember really liking it when I was a kid, and I remember there's some creepier parts to it. Don't think it's based on an actual Sherlock Holmes story. I think they were just capitalizing on it, but I think they did, if I remember correctly, they did a fairly good job.
1985. Fascinating.
Do I need to find a movie that starts with young?
You sure do.
Because, I mean, we did, last time around the alphabet, we did Young Einstein. You've posited Young Frankenstein, and Sean, Young Sherlock Holmes.
You could go with Young Guns. That was my my alternative.
That was my backup, too,
I think one of us suggested Young Guns last time, and it didn't get voted for, so I didn't go with it this time. Might have been me.
But Young Guns is not a person. Like,
right, it's not this is the tale of a person that was younger.
Einstein, Frankenstein, Sherlock Holmes, not
Lady Chatterley. Lady Chatterley.
Well, listen, I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball. I'm gonna go off book a little bit here. So
if you go with a movie that starts with another letter, we're not voting for it.
No, I'm not doing a movie that starts with another letter. But what I am gonna do is tank my Y pick. Because for my Z pick, I have a listener request. And in order to strengthen my odds for Z to get the listener request across the finish line, I'm going to tank my Y pick. So my Y pick is going to be the 1982 movie called Yes, Giorgio, starring Luciano Pavarotti.
I'm voting for it, motherfuckers.
You guys had better not.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Oh man, I know you like to punish me, but
are you kidding me?
Young Giorgio.
No, Yes, Giorgio.
Oh, Yes, Giorgio.
If only it were Young Giorgio, then I would have been then it wouldn't have been off book. But no, it's called Yes, Giorgio.
All right, sure. Let's do it.
Wait, hang on. I'm not ready. Wait, what are the picks?
So we've got Young Frankenstein, Young Sherlock Holmes, and Young Giorgio.
Red leader standing by.
Plaid leader standing by.
God damn it. Oh my god. You guys are assholes.
No. We're not doing that. We had to do it for you.
Oh. I love you both and I hate you at the same time.
All right. Yeah. All right. We're going to do Young Frankenstein.
Sweet. Oh my god. I bet Greg is over there cursing our names right now.
Yes, Giorgio.
He's probably just wondering what the fuck's going on. He's like, what the hell is Young Giorgio?
Young Giorgio?
Yes, Giorgio, Young Frankenstein, Young Giorgio. He's looking this up. He's like, what the hell?
All right, we're going to be watching Young Frankenstein for the Halloween months. Although I'm looking at the trailer for this Yes, Giorgio movie, and I think one of you guys is going to have to watch this.
Poor back.
There's a hot air balloon ride. It's a food fight. Oh, boy.
Pavarotti in a food fight.
Yeah, come on, man. Great.
I mean, I don't know, Chris. I got you to watch War of the Worlds. I mean, I can keep trying to push bad movies on you. I'm full of them. Let me tell you.
Well, I mean, I was going to ask if you're sure this is a bad movie, and then I saw it's got a 3.8 out of 10 rating on
It's
IMDb.
so bad. It's so.
Oh, you've seen
bad.
this?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'm going to safely avoid this. All right. Well, Greg's reaction is exactly what it should be. All right. Your homework, everybody, is Young Frankenstein. A theater near you is part of the Geekade Podcast Network, and if you'd like to get in touch with us to share your comments, movie suggestions, or whatever, you can send us an email at mail@geekade.com. Sort of. That email address is pretty broken. I should do something about it. Anyway, we could have so many listener emails that have just bounced back and they have no way to get in touch with us.
Well, if we're just giving out bad information, you can call me at 555-3497.
We can also be found on most social media outlets and the official Geekade Discord server, all of which can be found in our show notes. If you'd like early access to this podcast and several others in the Geekade Podcast Network, check out the Geekade Patreon, linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running and our site shiny and clean. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time in a theater near you.
Keep it gangsta, keep it gangsta, keep it gangsta, keep it gangsta.